guys, it's Cece and welcome to my 20,000 subscriber Q&A. So I hit 20,000 subscribers in January, which was kind of mind-blowing, and I decided to do a Q&A to celebrate. You asked me lots of questions, so I'm going to answer them now, and stay tuned to the end and I am going to announce who won the giveaway for that Q&A. So let's just get started. First of all, I have to say I loved so many of the questions that you guys asked me. I think that they are all such fun questions. We're going to start with some quick short answer ones that are going to take like a sentence or so to answer, and then we'll move on to some other stuff that I have kind of split into categories. Yeah, let's get started. How tall are you? I am 4 feet and 11 and a half inches tall. Cat person, dog person, or fish person? Cat person. 100%. Do you think you'll ever do more vlog type videos? Yes, I'm going to start doing a vlog a month, so keep an eye out for the one that I did in February. It's filmed and edited and I can't wait to share. What's your opinion on penguins? I think they're pretty great. Tea or coffee? Coffee. Which coffees do you like the most? Mostly I drink caramel macchiatos, those are my favorites, but I also like seasonal beverages at Starbucks. I love seasonal beverages, particularly the pumpkin spice latte, but also the Christmas drinks. What do you put on your pizza? Cheese, pepperoni. That's it. Favorite time of day to read? The nighttime. It used to be more times, but now I really only have time at night, but that's fine because I've always loved reading until I fall asleep, so. Where do you shop for clothes mostly? Mostly I shop at Forever 21 and H&M. Those are my go-to stores, but I go around a little bit. This particular sweater is from Aeropostale, but it was on sale. That's why I bought it. And when stuff is super on sale, I will go to American Eagle. But those are kind of my main spots for clothing. What is your most anticipated book release of the year? Well, I've done videos about that if you would like to go and watch them, but I'll tell you my top one from each list. My most anticipated queer release of the year is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, which is coming out in June. And my most anticipated release that isn't a queer release is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas, which comes out on February 28th. If you could describe your high school experience in 3 words, what would they be? Stressful, fun, over. Star sign? I'm an Aries. Favorite flower? Daisies. Myers-Briggs type. I am an ISFJ, through and through. Oh my god. Who is your favorite character from Friends? That is easily Chandler. If you could have any animal in the world as a pet, what would you have? Semi-realistically, I read panda. They're adorable. Not at all realistically, a bear. They look snuggly. Have you ever regretted unhauling a book? No. What book or books fill you with rage? Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. Fills me with a lot of rage. What is your all-time least favorite TV series? This is super hard and probably not at all accurate, but I really hate The Big Bang Theory, so that's a potential one. What is your most anticipated movie release of 2017? Probably Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That's probably my most hyped one, but I'm also pretty excited for Beauty and the Beast. What YA book do you think will become a future classic or that you want to become a classic in the future? My 2 most common answers for this are The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak and The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Those are the 2 I think that are the most likely to become read for years down the line that I think have potential to be classics, and also that I really love. Favorite queer couple in YA? Probably Ava and Emmy from Everything Leads to You, but I also really love Henry and Diego from We Are the Ants. What brands of lipsticks do you wear? So many people ask this, so I stick mainly to Maybelline. Those are my go-to. These are my 3 go-to colors, but the color I wear most frequently is this one, and it is Raging Raisin. That is the name of the color that I'm currently wearing. I wear it most frequently in videos, but I also love, we've got Deepest Cherry and Summer Sunset. Those are my Maybelline go-tos. From Revlon, we've got Wine with Everything, which is a great red color that I wear a lot. And from Rimmel, I don't know how to pronounce brand names, we've got Under My Spell, which is a beautiful dark purple color that I love. All right, now we're going to talk about job, college, and channel stuff. So like half of you asked what I want to do after college, like what's my life plan, what job do I want to have? First of all, you're scaring me. I have to graduate in May, so terrifying, but I'll tell you what I would love to do. Preferably, I want to work as an editor at a publishing house. That's been my goal for years and years now, since before I even started college. Last semester, I worked as an intern at a literary agency, and it was absolutely incredible, and I'm really hoping that I'll be able to get an internship at a publishing house soon, that someday I can become an editorial assistant and eventually an editor. That's the dream. Someone asked me how I handle time management, how I have time to do videos, school, reading, everything else I want to do It's hard. It's extremely hard, and I don't always do it well. The main thing for reading is that I set aside very specific times to read. About an hour before I go to bed every night, Janelle and I start reading. That is reading time. If I get bonus reading time, that's great, but that is a thing that happens every single night for at least an hour. Since I've been back at school, videos have been harder. I keep getting behind, but that's just because I spend more time editing than I used to. And the main thing is that school is priority. That's the stuff that I have to do the most. I set aside specific times that will work for each of these things, and I try to stick to those times. If you set yourself really strict schedules, then you can fit it all in, but the thing is, if I'm reading a lot, that means I'm not watching basically any TV or movies. That just doesn't happen if I'm focusing on this other stuff. So that's the thing, is that you have to give and take. You can't do it all, and if you find yourself annoyed that you're not having time to do certain things, it means that you have to give up something else. So for the last year and a half, I really haven't watched that much TV, and it's because I gave it up to focus on reading and videos and stuff. Someone asked why I started this channel. It was mainly because of Janelle. I had been doing a book blog for a number of years on Tumblr. That's where Problems of a Book Nerd started. You may have seen some of my stuff, but I was watching a video in class once, and it was a booktuber, I don't even remember who it was, talking about different types of fantasy genres, and Janelle leaned over and she was like, hey, this was a thing you could do, and a couple of months later, I started. What was the hardest thing to overcome when you started your channel? Probably getting comfortable talking to myself. It was a really hard thing to get used to, standing alone in my room and talking with any kind of confidence, and if you go back to my beginning videos, I assure you I am not this confident or loud when I talk to a camera. I was pretty quiet and reserved, but it was a thing that I built up over time, and honestly, it has transitioned into my life too. I've become a lot more confident in myself, a lot more able to speak my mind about stuff, so that was the hardest thing to get over, but it wound up being good in all aspects of my life, not just on YouTube. What is the biggest change in you, your channel, and your book interests since starting BookTube? This is hard. I think the biggest change in me is that, like I said, I have become a lot more confident. I think I'm a lot better at articulating myself in videos and in real life. I think that I've just gotten better at talking and feeling okay with myself when I try to speak up. As far as my channel, I think I've just gotten more creative and I've been more willing to step out and talk about a lot more of my other interests than I was at the beginning. And as far as changes in my own reading, I think that I've just gotten a lot more discerning about what I want to read and what I don't want to read. It used to just be whatever books came my way that sounded interesting, I would read those, but now I think I'm a lot better at finding books that I want to read. I have a lot more outlets to look through when I want to find what I want to read, and I've just figured out my own tastes a lot better than I used to know them. So that's that. How did you get comfortable talking to a camera, and how do you come up with ideas for videos? Like I said with talking to a camera, just lots and lots of practice. It took me a long time to get comfortable talking to myself and not feeling like it's weird. Also, I've gotten better at filming with other people. Initially, I couldn't film with anyone else in the room. It would completely throw me off, but I've gotten a lot better about doing that. As far as coming up with video ideas, some of it's me, but a lot of it is talking through with Janelle, coming up with stuff with her, the kind of stuff she likes to see as a viewer, and we just talk a lot, and that's basically it. That's how we come up with videos, is through Janelle's help. Alright, so we should talk about Janelle. This is going to be a section about me and Janelle and about being queer and what all of that stuff. So many people asked how I met Janelle, how long we've been dating, all of that kind of stuff. We met our second day of college. It was orientation. Our first night, there was a bunch of get to know you games where we'd get in huge circles with all of the new freshmen, and just it was a lot. It was really overwhelming. But that day, when I went to orientation that first night, I had worn a Supernatural t-shirt. And then the next day at lunch, I was then wearing a Doctor Who t-shirt, but Janelle saw me across the room and remembered me, came over to me and said hello, and was like, hey, were you wearing a Supernatural t-shirt last night? I have watched a couple seasons of that. Can I sit with you? And I was like, yeah, sure, please be my friend. I'm alone in a new place. I'd really like a person to talk to. I've also later been told by Janelle that she came over to talk to me because she thought that I looked gay, which, to be fair to her, is 100% accurate. After that, we were best friends for a couple of years, especially our freshman year. We just got really, really close. And then in our sophomore year, it became more and more obvious to me that I was definitely in love with her, but kind of wouldn't admit it because I did not know I was gay. I had my friends from home telling me how obvious it was that I was clearly in love with Janelle and I needed to accept it and get over it. And then in the second semester of our sophomore year, we finally talked it out and we started officially dating. And our second anniversary was just on February 7th. That is 2 years of us being together. And the thing is, some people asked how we fell in love, but we already loved each other because we were best friends, and by the time we started dating, there was no, like, hurdle to jump over, like, do we need to redefine it? Do we need to have another moment where we say I love you? No. We talked about it, and I was like, oh, we can be dating now. I love you. And that was kind of it. We love each other. Someone asked what is our favorite or fondest memory of our relationship, and I have to say, I talked about a lot of these answers with Janelle, and I asked this of her, and we wound up having like a half-hour conversation like 2 days before our anniversary, so thank you, person who asked this question. It was such a fun, like, conversation to have with Janelle. One of my most romantic moments with Janelle is when we were in Paris together. We were there for studying abroad, and we went on a boat ride on the Seine, and it was really romantic. It was at night, all the lights were on, and we rolled past the Eiffel Tower, and it was so romantic, and I think that that's something I'm gonna remember for a really long time. Basically, anything from studying abroad was a really shining and awesome moment with her because I got to travel the world with the girl I love. But also, there was this really great day that she surprised me that I wanted to mention, and I have to say that one of my favorite movies of all time is You've Got Mail. I just love it, and she took me into the city one day. She was going to surprise me with something. I think it was for a birthday of mine, and she took me to the cafe from You've Got Mail as a surprise, and that is one of the sweetest and most lovely things anyone has ever done for me, and I love that memory. If you and Janelle could pick any scene or moment from a book where you'd want to hang out or go on a date, where would it be? Again, this was such a fun conversation to have with Janelle because we talked it out. Basically, places from Harry Potter came to be our answer, and it's funny because we've actually done Harry Potter World together, so we kind of did this. But we'd want to go eat at the Leaky Cauldron or the Three Broomsticks, wander around Hogsmeade. Those are kind of our dream locations for a date, but like I said, we kind of did a little bit of that, and we're hopefully going to be doing it again because we're going to Harry Potter World in Florida in May, so plenty of Harry Potter dates to be had. Are you and Janelle getting a cat or a dog anytime soon? I mean, hopefully. I love cats. I really want to get a cat. Janelle wants an orange cat, and we already know we're going to name her Winifred from Hocus Pocus because Winifred Sanderson. General question from so many people. Coming out? What did you do? What was it like? Yeah. Coming out was a weird process for me because the thing was, when I came to college, I really didn't know I was gay. I was raised in not a sheltered place, but a place where I had never known anyone else who was gay. Or so I thought. That's actually completely inaccurate, which I think many of you will find. If you think you don't know anyone gay, probably not true. But I moved from Utah to a liberal arts college in New Jersey, and it was kind of culture shock. There were suddenly so many people around me who were gay, who were bi, who were trans, and it was a shock to me, but it also allowed me to realize who I was. So when it came to school, there really was no coming out. I just got to be who I was, I got to figure out who I was, and eventually I got to start dating Janelle. People who knew us before we started dating were kind of like, finally, we just assumed. It took me a really long time to come out to everyone else in my family. After I started dating Janelle, I texted my sister pretty soon after, and you know what? She was also kind of like, thank goodness, it's about time. And by the way, I love my sister for everything she has done for me and everywhere she has been for me because she's just been fantastic. It took me longer to come out to my parents. I only did it last summer. Both were pretty good experiences, honestly, and I knew they would be. I know my parents love me, and I know that they have known I was gay for a long time. I came out to my mom in person. We just have a relationship where that worked better, and I came out to my dad via text when I was back at school, and he was absolutely wonderful. And after that, I just sort of considered myself out. I didn't want to do a thing where I was going to have to go to each individual family member and like sit them down, so I was just kind of like, all right, spread the word at will, that's it. I do have homophobic members of my family, but I've kind of cut them out of my life, and if they want to come and be terrible and homophobic to me, then I have personally validated words from my 70-year-old grandmother assuring me that if it came down to anything, they could just, in her very eloquent words, off. So that was kind of the coming out experience for me. It was gradual, it took a long time, but in general, I didn't get any negative reactions, and most of the time it was people just being like, We know. Thank you for telling us, finally. Which I think is also what happened when I came out online. I had wanted to come out since I started my channel. From the very beginning, I wanted to be open and out, but I knew that I didn't want my family to have to find out via an impersonal video. So the week I came out to my dad is also the week I came out to all of you. And most of you were like, yeah, we know. But in general, I'm really happy that I can be out and that I've reached this point in my life, and it's great. And I love being able to be a vocal queer voice here on YouTube and on the internet in general. I've had great conversations with so many people because of it, and it makes me happy. However, for people who wanted to know more about me because they were struggling with coming out, a couple of things. If you don't feel safe and you can't get into a place where you feel safe, it's okay to not come out. No one is entitled to know who you are unless you determine that they are. It doesn't mean that you're hiding, it doesn't mean that you're lying to them, it means that you have to be in a place where you feel 100% comfortable with talking about it, and that's okay. Also, if you're ever having a hard time, then you are free to contact me on Twitter, on Tumblr, anywhere, and talk. I'm happy to be a person who can talk to you about this stuff. So, yeah, that's my piece about coming out, about being in a relationship. It's great. For me. So now we are going to move into a section called Fandom Questions. What is your favorite Harry Potter book and why? Definitely Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I love that it's a conclusion to the series. I love the way that we get to see how far the characters have grown over the past 7 years, and alright, for the most part, I ignore the epilogue even happened, but other than that, I think it's a fantastic book. However, sometimes I question myself, and I gotta say that Prisoner of Azkaban is incredible and easily my second favorite. Favorite non-canon Harry Potter ships? Alright, favorite non-canon Harry Potter ships. I'm a hardcore Dean Seamus person, and I refuse to believe that isn't canon. Like, we never got a confirmation, we don't know. I ignore Pottermore. If you've heard anything about them on Pottermore, I don't want to know about it. In my mind, Dean and Seamus are now married and in love. Also, my ultimate is Wolfstar, like Ramus and Sirius. The ultimate to me. They are one of my top ships of all time, and they're in love. They're in love. Plus, if I was gonna get some ladies, I really love Luna and Ginny. I think that they are an adorable ship. Those are just a few of my favorites. Favorite Marauder, and why? Every single time I've tried to answer this, I've changed my answer, so, I think Remus Lupin is my favorite. Sirius is such a close second that sometimes he overtakes him, but I think that we get to see so much of Remus and how strong he is as a father figure, what an incredible influence he is as a professor, and he makes me cry, like, on a day-to-day basis. I love him. But, you know, they're all fabulous. They're all great, except, you know, Peter, but... Favorite TV show at the moment? This is difficult for me. I just barely watched The Magician Season 1 and loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I'm currently rewatching Buffy, so that's a pretty strong favorite right now. Oh, and I just watched the newest season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which was just a journey. Just a journey. As a Disney fan, what are some of your favorite movies and characters? My favorite Disney movie, I believe, is The Lion King. That's kind of my go-to answer. I love The Lion King. And then besides that, I love Tangled and Mulan a lot. I think that those are my second favorites. Characters, Moana has really grown on me the more and more I think about it, and as I keep listening to the music and as I rewatched the movie, I've really fallen in love with Moana. Mulan, of course, is one of my favorites. And if we are counting Disney Pixar, Marlin from Finding Nemo is actually my top favorite because I am Marlin. As a person, as a human being, I'm Marlin the fish. And Finding Nemo is my favorite Pixar movie. So, those are all the Disney things. Who are your favorite LGBTQ plus characters in movies and TV shows? This is so hard because I just was trying to think of like my favorites. Obviously there's Willow from Buffy, just queen of my heart, Willow. Due to my recent watch of The Magicians, Elliot definitely has to take a place on this list. If we're talking about Sense8, Leto is incredible. He makes me cry like in every single episode, and Nomi as well. And Amanita. She's a side character, but I love Amanita. There's Luce from Imagine Me and You, who I love. Korra and Asami from Legend of Korra. Oh man, if there was... They might actually be the top of my list besides Willow. Willow, then Asami and Korra. And then probably Jack Harkness from Doctor Who and Torchwood. He's amazing. And Charlie from Supernatural. those are probably my favorites. So many questions about Funko Pops. What is a dream Funko Pop that doesn't exist yet but that you want to? Probably Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. Those are probably the lines that I want the most. But also I really think that they should get on their witch stuff. I love craft Funko Pops, I'd love Hocus Pocus Funko Pops, and I'd love if we could extend the Scooby-Doo line to include the Hex Girls. All of those would be amazing. What line are you most looking forward to? As usual, I'm always interested in the Harry Potter ones that are going to continue to come out. I'm very excited about those. I'm also excited about a couple of the new Parks and Rec Funko Pops. I think that they are adorable. And I really want Jessica Jones. I think she's gonna be great. What sparked your love for Funko Pops? It's Wendy. That has probably got to be Janelle. It's completely her fault. She is the one who introduced me to collecting them, and now look where we are. Which leads us into, how many Funko Pops do you own? I can't give you an exact number, but it's over 200 if we are including Janelle and I's collection together. We each own a little tiny bit over 100, so 200 overall. Favorite Buffy season? Favorite Buffy episode? I think my favorite Buffy season is season 5. I think that's the strongest, but so many of my favorite episodes are from season 6, so that's probably got to be on there too. And I love 3. I'm right in the middle of a rewatch right now, so I'm feeling the Buffy passion. And my favorite Buffy episode feels like sort of a chip, like obviously, but it's Once More with Feeling. I just love so much about Once More with Feeling. I think it's a great episode of television. I love that it's a musical episode of television, but so much meaningful stuff happens. It's not a write-off episode. Like, huge character development moments happen in that episode, and it's genius. Okay, this Q&A is getting pretty long, so I think I've decided I'm going to split this into a part 2, so I'm going to finish it off here, and you will get part 2 of this Q&A in a couple of days. Thank you for watching this first half of the Q&A, and I hope to see you in the second half when I will actually reveal the winner of the giveaway. So, thank you for watching, I hope that you tune into the next one, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!